Imagine this. You sit down to study, and within minutes, the material clicks not just superficially, but with a depth that feels like you've unearthed a hidden truth. The words dissolve into meaning, concepts lock into place, and time warps. An hour passes like a breath. You glance back at what you've absorbed, and a chilling thought arises. This shouldn't be possible. Why does learning often feel like a slog, a war against distraction and forgetfulness? Why do we assume mastery must be slow, painful, earned through suffering? What if the opposite were true? What if the effort itself is the illusion? The real barrier isn't the material. It's the silent dogma that learning must hurt to count. Carl Jung once wrote, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. What unconscious rules govern your study habits? What if you could bend them? The real obstacle isn't laziness or lack of discipline. It's the ritualization of struggle. Society conditions us to equate suffering with virtue, to believe that if learning doesn't exhaust us, we're not doing it right. But this is a lie, one reinforced by industrial-era education systems designed for obedience, not mastery. Carl Jung saw this in the shadow, the repressed parts of the psyche that sabotage us. We fear efficiency because it threatens our identity as hard workers. Nietzsche called it ascetic idealism, the perverse worship of difficulty. And Schopenhauer warned that we mistake the effort for the result. Like a man who carries his raft on his back long after crossing the river, your brain is built for rapid pattern recognition, for flashes of insight. So why does it feel illegal to learn with ease? Because somewhere, you've been taught that speed is cheating. But what if the cheat code was always in your mind? This false belief in the virtue of struggle doesn't just slow you down, it rewires your brain for self-sabotage. Every time you force yourself to grind through material in a fog of fatigue, you reinforce neural pathways of resistance. The mind, like a caged animal, learns helplessness. Soon, even simple concepts feel heavy, not because they are, but because you've conditioned yourself to expect pain. Cognitive science reveals a brutal irony. Stress shrinks the hippocampus, the very region responsible for memory. The harder you push, the more your brain rebels. Meanwhile, cultural conditioning whispers that mastery must be linear, a slow march of flashcards and highlighters. But history's greatest thinkers, Da Vinci, Tesla, Jung himself, learned in bursts of lucid clarity, not dutiful suffering. The cost? A world of wasted potential, where brilliance is buried under artificial friction. What if the real crime isn't learning to fast, but believing you shouldn't? The escape begins with a single heretical thought. What if learning is not work, but play? Jung called this the transcendent function, the mind's ability to leap beyond self-imposed limits when rigid logic surrenders to fluid intuition. The fastest learners don't memorize, they hunt. They stalk knowledge like predators, pursuing curiosity with primal intensity. Nietzsche's will to power manifests here, not as domination, but as sovereignty over your cognitive process. Reverse engineer genius. Study in bursts of hyperfocus timed with ultradian rhythms. Let your subconscious chew problems while you walk, dream, or drift. Use memory palaces, not rote repetition. These aren't tricks. They're rebellions against a system that profits from your slowness. The moment you taste this freedom, a terrifying exhilaration takes hold. Speed feels like theft because you've been robbed your whole life. Now, steal back. The secret is this. Fast learning is not a method. It is surrender. Not to laziness, but to the mind's natural velocity. Jung's collective unconscious whispers that all knowledge already exists within you, waiting to be remembered, not acquired. The friction comes from resisting your own flow. When Tesla visualized inventions in full form before building them, when Einstein said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge," they revealed the forbidden truth. Mastery is recognition. The fastest way to absorb anything is to first believe, deep in your bones, that you already understand it. This is why speed feels illegal. It bypasses the ego's need for struggle, the cultural lie that worth must be earned through suffering. But the universe does not reward pain, it rewards alignment. So stop studying, start communing. The knowledge is not out there. It's in here, and it always has been.